Hey guys, hey, it's Iron Mike here. I got a little prospecting advice for you. Me and Big Red are going to shoot it to you. Hey, if you like what we're doing with the videos and stuff, go ahead and click that like button. I'd really appreciate it. So, on the topic here, prospecting is a tricky business. Every land type you get into is going to require a different series, a different mythology to get your gold. And you're going to run into unique problems that other people haven't come up with solutions for. So let's talk about that video I shared with you about the Trumbull down there in Arizona. It looked real pretty, right? The water looked real clean. Here's the thing, when we shut off that camera, the entire system was so clogged I had to shut it down. I didn't get a whole lot of gold out of that trip, and the reason being is because my water in that soil type would turn to instant muck. It's like a flood zone, and it's so full of super ultra fine silt that I really couldn't find a good solution for it while I was there. I tried to wrap my water pumps with cheesecloth. What happened was the cheesecloth got clogged almost instantly. I tried to wrap it with a wet shop vac filter. Same thing happened. We made a wire cage out of thin like chicken wire, not chicken wire, it's even smaller than that. It was like 1/4 inch wire, and we'd set that down in there, and even that would clog almost instantly. And so I was really up against kind of a unique situation down there, because okay, other people mine down there, other people do their thing down there, but they have these huge settling ponds, and I'm really not to that point yet. As a matter of fact, Freddie and Juan's Mine Rescue did a show in my area in the Brownshaw Mountains, and that's exactly what they had to do. They created these huge settling ponds, and they used flocculant to get the silt to actually settle down the way it should. That way your water stays relatively clean, and your gold recovery operation actually works the way it's supposed to work. When your water gets too clogged with muck and mud, what happens is, well, it turns into a form of dirt. It turns into mud. And mud will pick up your gold and throw it right out your sluice box, and you've lost all your gold. So I had to rethink what I was doing down there. And I was like, well, maybe the Trumbull might be a little much. What I'm doing down there is I'm still exploring. I have 60 acres, and what I'm doing is I'm going up a lot of washes and ravines, and I'm noting the gold that I find along the ravine. That way it kind of dials in exactly where I need to dig. There's, I'd say, about 40 washouts on that 60 acres. There's a lot of land to cover. There's a lot of exploring to cover, and it may not work out best if I use that Trumbull. It might be better if I use a smaller system like the Gold Cube, use 25-gallon black buckets with a good water filtration system. That way I'm not going through 100 gallons a day, and I can actually filter out the water and still have good gold recovery system going on. So then my next thought was like, okay, so how do you make a water filtration system that's actually going to work for my purposes without getting into these huge settling ponds? And I came up with a couple solutions. I pulled out my engineering degree. I looked up Bernoulli's law, and I'm going to walk you through what I'm going to do. This video is going to show you my solution, how I came up with it, how I built it, and I'm building it, and you guys get to see all that. And next week we're going to go back out to Arizona, and we're going to see if my solution works or not. All right, so let's keep our fingers crossed and stand by. Let's get started. All right. Now, to explain it a little bit, what I did is you saw me put little holes in the big holes, right? I turned all that bottom structure into a bunch of big holes. And then I put a small screen on top that I found at the hardware store. Now, I've seen other people do this before, but what they neglect to do is to put the big holes on the bottom, because those holes are going to clog. Matter of fact, the holes on top are going to clog. And as the idea is the Gold Cube dumps its waste in here. It fills up with silt and dirt that I don't want, while the Gold Cube keeps my concentrates that I do want. And as it's dumping dirt in here, what happens is the dirt itself acts as a filter. And what I'm hoping is going to happen, I've seen other guys do it without a whole lot of success. I made a few modifications. We'll see if it works for me or not. We'll find out next week out in the field. But the idea is the dirt itself acts as a filter and catches most of the silt before it gets shoved out into the next bucket, and then that's the bucket that I draw the water from, just like my little diagram details out right there. So, first, you have a problem. You brainstorm solutions. You draw your solution out, and you build it to plan. If it doesn't work, you go back to the drawing board. Yeah, that's why advances are kind of slow sometimes. Alright guys, hey, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you out in Arizona. There's Iron Mike signing out.